Did you know that nearly 50% of people report feeling less interested in a partner after they've opened up emotionally? It's a shocking reality that most of us don't expect when we try to connect on a deeper level. We believe that being vulnerable and honest will bring us closer, but for many, it has the opposite effect. Why does this happen? Why do people pull away just when you think you've made a real connection? The truth is, relationships are more complicated than we give them credit for. Emotional openness can trigger fear, overwhelm, or even boredom if it's not handled the right way. But don't worry, there's a way to navigate this tricky terrain. In this video, we'll dive into the hidden reasons why opening up can backfire and how you can avoid common mistakes. You'll discover proven strategies to keep your partner intrigued, build a deeper connection, and maintain the spark even when you're being vulnerable. Stick around, because understanding these secrets could change the way you approach relationships forever. Chapter 1: The Heart's Whisper versus the Mind's Fear. When we open up to someone, it's like we're offering a piece of ourselves, a vulnerable part. But here's the thing: as much as our hearts crave connection, our minds can get in the way. According to psychology, when we share too much too soon, it triggers a subconscious fear in the other person. This fear stems from the pressure of having to respond or mirror that same level of emotional openness. Studies show that vulnerability is a double-edged sword. In fact, 60% of people feel uncomfortable when someone opens up too much, too quickly. This discomfort isn't about the person being too emotional but about the sudden increase in emotional weight. It's like dropping a heavy bag on someone unexpectedly. People need time to adjust to the new emotional load. The key strategy here is pacing. If you open up too fast, the person you're confiding in might feel overwhelmed. Instead, share small pieces of yourself gradually. This allows the person to emotionally catch up with you, making them feel more comfortable with your vulnerability. Relationships, at their best, are built on mutual trust and a balance between emotional closeness and space. When you feel the urge to share your deepest thoughts, pause and ask yourself, is this the right moment? Timing is critical. Emotional intimacy grows naturally, but only if both partners feel comfortable. Another important strategy is understanding that vulnerability doesn't mean oversharing. The more you reveal, the less the other person has to wonder. According to Dr. John Gottman, a relationship expert, couples who thrive know how to keep some emotional boundaries to maintain a healthy dynamic. So next time you're tempted to bear it all, remember, it's okay to be open, but not at the cost of overwhelming the other person. Give them the space to meet you at your level. Chapter 2: The Mystery Game. Why we're all addicted to it. Have you ever noticed how some relationships seem to sizzle with energy, while others feel flat? It all comes down to mystery. When we first meet someone, there's this magnetic pull, curiosity. Why is that? It turns out, our brains are wired to crave the unknown. Psychologists call this the mystery effect. In relationships, this plays out in a very interesting way. The more you reveal about yourself, the less there is for the other person to figure out. According to a study by the University of Pennsylvania, couples who maintain some level of mystery are more likely to stay interested in each other long term. The idea is simple: curiosity keeps the spark alive. Once the mystery fades, the attraction can fade with it. Here's a fun fact: people often report feeling more connected to their partners after a period of mystery or emotional distance. This isn't a strategy to play games, it's simply the way human attraction works. Our brain loves novelty, and if everything is known right away, things can get stale quickly. To harness the power of mystery in your relationship, start by keeping some things to yourself. Don't rush to tell your whole life story in the first few weeks or months. Instead, offer hints and let the other person slowly learn more about you. Share a new piece of your story in each conversation, keeping them intrigued but not overwhelmed. A good strategy here is to allow your partner to ask questions. Instead of volunteering everything about your past, let them dig a little. This creates a playful dynamic where both partners have the opportunity to explore and discover. Another interesting point to consider is that when you're too open about everything, it can make your relationship feel more like a friendship than a romantic partnership. As Dr. Laura Berman, a sex therapist, puts it, romance thrives on intrigue. The more you can keep a little something back, the more enticing you become. Remember, a relationship built entirely on transparency might feel safe, but it can also lose its edge. Mystery adds excitement and helps maintain a sense of chase that keeps things fresh. Chapter 3: The Unexpected Power of the Unspoken Connection. We often think of relationships in terms of words, open communication, sharing thoughts, feelings, and experiences. But what if I told you that some of the strongest connections in relationships are formed without saying a word? The unspoken bond is incredibly powerful, yet it's something we rarely talk about. Research shows that 93% of communication is nonverbal. Yes, you read that right, only 7% of communication is through words. The rest comes from body language, facial expressions, tone, and even silence. This fact shows how powerful unspoken connections can be. Imagine you're on a date. The chemistry you feel isn't just about what's being said. It's about how they look at you, the way their body leans toward you, or how they respond when you pause in conversation. These moments speak volumes. When you're too focused on talking about everything, you may miss out on these subtle but powerful cues. Now, how can this knowledge help in your relationships? The key strategy here is balance. Don't just rely on words to connect. Take time to feel the silence between you. Allow your body language to express what words can't. A gentle touch, a lingering gaze, or a smile can create more intimacy than any long conversation ever could. Experts like Dr. Sue Johnson, author of Hold Me Tight, explain that nonverbal cues are critical in fostering emotional connection. Couples who can communicate without words are often the ones who feel closest, even in times of stress. When you're emotionally open without speaking, it's like you're allowing your partner to feel your emotions, not just hear them. To build stronger connections through the unspoken, try this: spend time together without talking constantly. Watch a movie, take a walk, or even share a meal in silence. Notice how your partner's energy shifts when words aren't the focus. Often, this kind of silent communication can be more profound than any conversation. But be mindful, while nonverbal communication is key, it also requires attentiveness. If you're too busy talking or sharing everything, you may miss the chance to truly understand your partner's feelings. Look for the quiet moments, the subtle shifts in energy, and the way their body responds to you. If you found this chapter helpful, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. We'll dive even deeper into these strategies in the upcoming chapters. Chapter 4: Overexposure, the silent killer of desire. When it comes to relationships, sometimes less really is more. Overexposure, revealing too much about yourself too quickly, can hurt the connection you're trying to build. Think of it like sharing your entire life story on the first date. It can be overwhelming, and worse, it can extinguish the spark of curiosity that keeps relationships interesting. According to a study published in Psychological Science, people often feel more attracted to someone when there's an element of mystery. When everything is out in the open, it creates an emotional overload. As Dr. Gary Chapman, author of The 5 Love Languages, points out, too much information, too soon, can drown out the attraction. One strategy to avoid overexposure is to follow the breadcrumb approach. Instead of laying everything on the table at once, share small, meaningful pieces of your story over time. This keeps the conversation fresh and allows the other person to digest what you're saying. It also gives them the chance to ask more questions, making them feel involved in discovering who you are. Another key is knowing when to pull back. It's easy to feel vulnerable and want to share everything, but constantly revealing your feelings or personal details can create an emotional imbalance. People need time to process and reciprocate. Relationships thrive on mutual sharing, not one-sided revelations. Dr. Susan Krauss Whitburn, a psychologist, says that when someone reveals too much about their past or feelings too soon, it can lead to what she calls emotional flooding. This can cause a partner to retreat emotionally, even if they're still physically present. So, it's vital to keep things light and paced when you open up. Remember, attraction thrives on a healthy mix of connection and distance. By managing how much you reveal and when you reveal it, you ensure that the relationship stays exciting and emotionally balanced. Chapter 5: Are you too available? The paradox of intimacy in relationships. Availability is a paradox. We often think that being emotionally available and always present is the key to a strong connection. but overdoing it can lead to emotional burnout. Studies suggest that when you are too available, it can make the other person feel suffocated, which may cause them to lose interest. Dr. Neil Warren, author of The Dateable Parent, explains that in a healthy relationship, both partners need their own space. When one person is always at the other's beck and call, it can cause the relationship to feel more like a dependency than a partnership. Emotional space is just as important as emotional closeness. To strike the right balance, try what experts call the space for desire strategy. This means you give your partner room to miss you and desire your presence. It's okay to be emotionally supportive without being overbearing. By maintaining some boundaries, you actually give your partner the space to grow closer to you. A study from the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that people who give their partners time and space are more likely to have long-lasting, fulfilling relationships. Being too available can make you seem desperate for attention, which isn't attractive. Healthy independence is what creates desire. Another tip is to establish boundaries early on. Know when to step back and allow your partner time to reflect or process their own emotions. By doing so, you give them the emotional room they need, and this can lead to a deeper, more satisfying connection. Ultimately, relationships thrive when both partners maintain their sense of self. So, while being available is important, it's essential to also have your own hobbies, interests, and space. This keeps the relationship balanced and exciting, rather than feeling like an emotional treadmill. Chapter 6: The Art of Timing. When to open up and when to hold back. Timing is everything in a relationship, and knowing when to open up and when to hold back is one of the most important skills you can develop. Think about it like this: if you tell someone everything about yourself in the first week, there's nowhere else for the conversation to go. But if you pace your vulnerability, it creates a deeper emotional connection. A study in Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin found that people tend to be more attracted to others when the relationship progresses gradually. By pacing your emotional disclosures, you allow your partner to feel like they're discovering you bit by bit. This creates a sense of anticipation and keeps things exciting. One strategy is to gauge the other person's emotional readiness. If they're sharing personal details, that might be a good time to share yours. But if they're still keeping things surface level, it's better to hold back. Being mindful of the timing of your emotional disclosures is key to not overwhelming the other person. Another important tip is to be aware of the emotional temperature of the relationship. In the early stages, it's best to keep things light. Gradually introduce deeper topics as the relationship evolves, ensuring both partners feel comfortable. If you're constantly rushing into heavy emotional discussions, it can make the relationship feel more intense than it's ready for. Dr. Helen Fisher, a biological anthropologist, emphasizes the importance of timing in attraction. She states, "The brain needs time to process emotional intimacy, and rushing it can actually push people away." So, patience and timing are your allies when building a strong emotional connection. Remember, vulnerability is powerful, but it's also a slow burn. Take your time, and let the relationship unfold naturally. Don't rush into sharing everything about yourself. Instead, find the right moments to open up, and trust that your partner will be there to meet you halfway. In relationships, the secret is to balance emotional timing with trust. By doing so, you can build a connection that's not only deep but also lasting and fulfilling. If you found these insights helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more tips and strategies on building stronger, healthier relationships. Stay tuned for more in-depth content on how to keep the love alive.